So setup wise, as we discussed, is just a little bit more tilt, okay?
Yeah.
So you try and create sort of a sequence that starts. I think I've got your start sequence from there, but you generally start with kind of your feet together, put the club down behind the golf ball first, gripping it while then tilting over, so you create your spine angle that's comfortable now. And then your feet just go apart, just can be nice and bounced and flexy. So you can still feel nice and relaxed through the legs and the knees.
Yeah.
The reason I think when you felt a little bit locked was because you're a bit too upright with your spine, reaching forward, then your legs locked, your back was a bit, you felt tense in your back, tense in your legs, you're stretching down through your chest and your arms there. It's going to feel tight all over. And then to try and move your body when you feel tight is not going to work, is it? Okay. So these are actually the same swing again. I want to show you, okay, in terms of your good backswing position, okay. Here's your setup position, okay, and what we'll be looking for impact is the hands to be a little bit further forward, okay, leading the club slightly, okay, and that knee kicking in, okay. So we look at the right hand one now, we compare setup with impact, okay. The good thing is now we said your right side, if I zoom a bit there, your right side now is rotating nice. There's no slide there now with that knee, so your left hip pocket, your right Nike logo sort of turning around there nicely, good shoulder turn, and your body's rotating around your spine there nicely, okay. As you then come back to the golf ball, from here now the shift is going to happen, so we're going to start moving down towards the golf ball and unwind hips, shoulders, lower half and everything else from the ground up, okay. So the shift now with your hips, so your left hip now is going to be moving over towards your left foot. In this case, I wouldn't say it's quite moved over enough, okay. You'd want to get that left side a little bit more to the golf ball, okay. As you come into the golf ball here now, it tries to catch up. If we look at impact there, if I clear those lines, I would certainly say there's your club there, there's your club there. So you have actually sort of moved. You can see your knee now is starting to kick in a little bit, whereas there it's obviously a little bit more straight up, which is what we expect, okay. So there has been a distinct shift now to that left side, and that's really what the impact difference is going to be from obviously setup to impact. And in some ways you can just practice that position by standing to a golf ball over there and then just sort of twist. So you feel that hip twisting while the shoulders at the same time are staying sort of still straight to target, okay. If we just do that, you're generally pivoting now on this right hip, and shoulders and hips are just going to go all over the place, exactly, okay. Because your shoulders will kind of dictate the direction the club's going to come from. If that right shoulder twists as much with the hips, you're going to there somewhere, you'll be a massive hoik to the left there, okay. Alright, so get that lower half work in there. As I say, if you're on the range, getting a few shots that don't quite go as well, hit a few short shots, work on that transition down, just maybe swing the top of the backswing, swing up to here, and then just swing down to there and stop. Just get that feeling of shift in that body, in that lower half there. Get your weight. So what you're looking for is like everything now to swing over to that left side. So at impact, you see your left knee, your left shoulder, your left elbow sort of leading into that position there, and that's going to help you create the downward strike with the irons, okay. And obviously then the ball go up in the air when you do that. Okay, in the past, obviously, when your legs were swaying, you couldn't physically make this move. Hence, why obviously last week we looked at getting the lower half working better, which as you can see, it's doing. Okay, if you slid your knee this way, there's no way you can get to that side with any sort of consistency without falling over, really. There'd be so much movement through your feet, you'd be flat on your face most of the time, okay? So the backswing now you've worked really hard at. It's about 4 or 5 sessions on the range, which is great. You can see the transition you've made with that. The next stage now is this back to the golf ball, getting that shift with the body. This might take a little bit longer to perfect, excuse me, because whereas in the backswing, it's a slower move and you're not hitting anything, okay? It's generally easier. What you'll find is the later on in the swing the changes are occurring, the harder they are to make. When changes happen there, they're quite easy because it's just a static move. If I said I'll bring your left foot forward, your right foot back, or tilt forward or do this, you can do that because you're not making any sort of movement at all at any speed. That's probably the easiest change to make in terms of backswing, sort of takeaway. This movement now with the lower half is a tricky move to make. It's still making quite a biggish movement at speed, but from there down to there is the hardest move to make any change at all because it's from the top of the backswing there, 6.5. As you're in the golf ball, it's coming down at 6.85. So it's 0.3 of a second. There's not much time to think about, okay, whereas obviously from the backswing, we're starting at about 5.5 seconds and then there's 6.5 seconds. So you've got about 3 times the speed to practice, exactly, which doesn't seem a lot in 1 second to 0.3 of a second, split seconds anyway, but there's still that feeling of time there, okay? So again, bit of work on that lower half, but like I say, the reason why I think you were getting some of those ones that shank off to the right there, you're catching the golf ball, but if I sort of draw a mini club on here, okay, clear all that. So if we look at a golf club sort of here, there's the shaft of the golf club, and there's the head like so obviously the grooves on the club face there. When you shank the golf ball, you're catching it right in the hosel there, right in the shaft where the club face catches. Now I think part of that's coming from if you top a golf ball or don't feel that you get low enough, you then try to reach out for that golf ball. And it's something you've had to do in the past when you were a bit further from the ball and stretching anyway, and your legs were sort of sliding back and there was no real movement at the golf ball. So the way for you to make contact was to almost throw your arms at it. You've only got to throw your arms. I think the golf club's being, what I know, that far in terms of width, okay? There's a good strike, there's a hosel strike. It's that much. It's not a big lead. What I would say is a really good practice drill to do, okay? If you started maybe 3 or 4 of those shots in a row, put a golf ball or a tee peg there and just make a swing, just consciously missing the, in that case, that blue circle, okay? So maybe put a yellow ball or a white ball, different colour ball if you can. Set up to that one ball and just miss the outside ball, okay? You might miss the inside ball or catch the toe end of the club, but you'll redirect from the hosel more towards where we want to be making contact with the club. So only if that happens, I know, say 4 or 5 times in a row. You've got 2 or 3 now towards the end there, so you might try that bit now in a second. But only make these adjustments if it's a consistent fault. So if it's a one-off fault, then just go, okay, it's a bad shot, be done with it. Go back to going what you know when you try and do, okay? If you do loads in a row and you keep trying to reach for that ball, then put that ball on the outside as a practice drill. Because what you'll find, if you pick both balls, one's going to bang into the side, one they're going to bang. So you're kind of working more on just feel to miss that ball. Okay, does that kind of make sense then? Yeah. Transition. Please do that sort of takeaway. That takeaway was looking really good. There's a good movement there with that lower half rotating nicely now. Much more consistent move. Your body now can function better. It's from there now making this sort of rotation back to the ball. Yeah. Okay, mate. Yeah. Good. Have a couple more then.